What's up, guys? It is JZNES back again with another video. Today we're talking about Kirby Dream Land 3 for the Super Nintendo. Now I want to start off by saying a pretty positive thing in that the aesthetic of this game is really, really good. Now the game came out in '97, which is very, very late for the Super Nintendo. I mean, by this point, we were already well into the days of the N64, and the PlayStation was really big in '97. I mean, we got such hits as Ocarina of Time and Tomba. Was Ocarina of Time '98? I thought it was '97, right? Metal Gear was '97 or '8? I don't remember. Anyway, lots of great hits, lots of great games about to come out, well into the life cycles of the next console, the 5th generation there. And they released this Kirby Dream Land 3 game, which is why it's a little bit rarer and harder to find, is that it was released later on. But the aesthetic of the game is just really beautiful. It's a more of a crayon drawn like style, very colorful, very vibrant, very unique art style. Really, really impressive looking Super Nintendo game. It definitely looks like something that could have been released on the PlayStation or the 64 there. Kind of reminds me of Yoshi's Island sort of aesthetic, but even more so like a child's drawing, which is kind of on point because the kid from the next game, in the 64 game, the artist girl is a boss in this game, so, and she serves a purpose, and she's kind of in the ending there. Which, no, I didn't get the ending again because it's hidden behind a bunch of collectibles or whatnot, which is probably one of my biggest complaints with the game. Again, it does for replay value, it does add good replay value for you to go back and try to find all of the things that do the thing to make the start. It was never very apparent what you were supposed to do. You were supposed to help somebody in each level, but how to do that was always kind of obscure and different in each level. So figuring out all of that would definitely have been a lot, but that's where the completionists come in and do it, and that's not me. I just beat the games. I don't complete them. There's a whole other guy for that. But anyway, so yeah, I didn't do that. You know, I didn't feel the need to go and do that. I watched the ending online in the boss fight. It's not much to miss. Although it's funny because if you don't do that, King DDD is the final boss again. But a possessed King DDD, so that's kind of nice. It's a little bit different than the standard King DDD thing. But I do like how they've done that fight now. But actually now I have power-ups to fight him, and I just use the cutter ability or whatever that is, the little nail boomerang things, to just really fuck him up. So that was a lot of fun to just, you know, not have to sit there and then take his attack and throw it back at him. So yeah, that's nice. The aesthetic there, I know I got really off the topic of that. The aesthetic and the music is actually really good in this one. Very different from the typical Kirby themes, but there is one track that I did recognize, and it's in the N64 Smash Brothers, and it's a very iconic Kirby theme to me. It's how I know Kirby. You know, da 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 da. Da 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 da. You know, that song, that's great. Love that song. But I know it from the Smash Brothers more than anything. So, but that was in this game. I don't know if that was in any of the other ones. I can't remember. They're all kind of blending together at this point. Kirby's a very similar franchise. They do a lot of the same things again and again and again. To be fair, the last game, Superstar, took a different direction, and I really like that game, and especially in comparison to this one. That game had a lot of good variety, and it had a very similar style, but it had a lot of the different Kirby styles all kind of put together, all the little subtleties to the difference in Kirby styles were in there. This one has an emphasis more on the friend, companion characters like the hamster and the owl and all of that from the previous Dreamland game. And I do like them. My favorite was the little bird, because what happens is, in this game, and I don't remember if this was in the previous Dreamland game or not, but the power-ups that you get this time, you can use them as Kirby, but you can also, if you have one of your companions while you have it, then it'll power them up to do different things. Like, the owl's attacks are mostly like just downward spikes. He has like, if you got the thunder one, he'll just shoot thunder below him. The little bird though, he usually has like he has like a homing one. He has a homing attack. He has one where you could like control him with a little remote control and like steer him towards the enemies. That one's not as good, but it's still a cool concept. The fire and ice ones, he's got the best ones, the little guy. Some of the other ones, like the fish and stuff, were just like really situational. I didn't really use them that much this game. There's a cat this time who turns you into a little ball. That's pretty cool. So yeah, like lots of little companions again. But the focus is on the companions this time. The power-ups are actually pretty limited again. Like I said, the fire and the ice and the spike, basic ones, you know. A lot of the other out there power-ups were kind of just cut down in favor of each of the animal companions having a unique sort of ability and helpfulness in their power-ups and that kind of thing. So yeah, so that's interesting. They've like really cut the fat of the power-ups and just put the main ones in there so that they could have the animal companions be more of a focus. I didn't really care for that many of the animal companions, like I said. I think the little bird one was the best. The owl one's pretty cool. He's got like this twisty move, like a twister spinny move, which is pretty neat, and flying with him is pretty decent. But I like the smaller bird better, and I used him for most of the game. That being said, I think that this is maybe... It's hard, but I think this might be the best of the 3 Dreamland games. Just the Dreamland games. I still think I would put Kirby Superstar above this one, and then Kirby Adventure above that one. But it's basically 3, 2, 1 in terms of Dreamland games, you know, so... But, yeah. So... But, you know, the gameplay is just the standard Kirby stuff. It's still refined well enough. It still plays well enough. A lot of that secrets and explorative element there really would have added a lot to the game, I suppose. But I just didn't really feel the need to do that to get the final boss or whatever. But that would add a lot to the really exploring and getting the depth of the levels, you know, if you're really into doing that. But a little hint towards the fact that that was important would have been nice, you know, but they don't really tell you about that. They kind of hinted that in the bad ending where they go through the enemy scroll, and at the very end of that, it shows that there's another enemy that you haven't seen yet, basically implying that there's another boss that you didn't get to do, so there's that. Yeah, I thought the music was pretty impressive. I said that already, but like, it sounds really good for Super Nintendo. Like, the Super Nintendo is known for having really good music, but it definitely sounded like top-notch. And this is 97, so I mean, of course, they had the knowing and the ability to make really good music. I wonder what like the last Super Nintendo game is, like, officially or whatnot. This must have been pretty far out. I mean, I can't imagine many games. I mean, Earthbound got released in 94, and I thought, or was it 95? it was later on, and I thought that was late when Earthbound was released or whatever, but, you know, but this is just like some other thing, man. This is halfway into the next generation or whatnot. It's crazy. But, hey, you know, whatever. For being kind of an underlooked Kirby game, yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. I called it the best of the Dreamland trilogy there, and I thought that the other two games were really good as well. I had a lot of fun playing those. So, really, if you like Kirby, it's more of that, you know? It's kind of hard to keep making new things to say about Kirby. It's really the same game over and over again. The thing that they changed this time was the animal companions and the power-ups and how the level design and all of that was more skewed towards your animal companions. But, you know, it's a lot of familiar tropes and enemies and level design of a Kirby game. The only thing that really, like I said, changed was the animal companions, the aesthetic, and them boiling down the power-ups to, like, their base level. You know, and playing this made me kind of realize how much I think Kirby Superstar got right in terms of a Kirby game, and how I like how different and similar it was to the other Kirby games. It was different enough to make it a fresh take on Kirby, but it was also the freshness was salted with you know, the same old familiar Kirby in a sense, but they took a lot of what the older Kirbys did to make it good, and made it refined into a Kirby, and then did their own thing with it, like that one level where you get the power up separately. There's nothing like that on display here. This is another Kirby game. So just coming off of Superstar, it's more not disappointing, but it's just like, it's hard to just readjust to just a normal Kirby game again, you know, when that one was so good and so different and a fresh take on the series. This is standard fare for Kirby is what we're doing here in this game. And that's fine, you know, I'm fine with that. I like Kirby games. Obviously, I'm still playing them. Maybe I would have stopped playing them if they weren't any good, but this is definitely still a good Kirby game, and I like that a lot. But, you know, it is just more of the same thing. So if you like Kirby, you're gonna get a kick out of it. I'm trying to find the one track here. This is a pretty good jam. Yeah, but, you know, it's more Kirby. If you like Kirby, you're gonna like this game. That's how, like, most of the Kirbys are. I know the next one kind of changes things up a little bit and adds a fusion ability to the power-ups or something like that. Kind of shifts things up a bit on the 64 there. Here we go. Here's the one. Dun, 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 dun. Boom, 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 boom. We're jamming out. Just kidding. But yeah, so it's well refined and it works well enough. I just kind of like when the emphasis is more on the power-ups and whatnot. But it kind of did take a left turn direction to try and appeal to the fact that the gameplay is just the same thing again and again throughout the Kirby games. There's a lot of similarities. Even the tree boss this time was like, you think it's gonna be the same thing, and then it gets like really angry, and you're like, oh shit, like this is different, you know? Of course, they fit in the famous, the cloud boss, and all of those, the sun and the moon boss. That was all in one gauntlet of a boss fight, though, so that was pretty cool. They had to put them in there, because, you know, they're in every Kirby game. But, you know, it's like, yeah, this is a great Kirby game, and I like it a lot. Best of the Dreamland trilogy, but it's very similar to the previous games. So that might be like the one downside to it. And the fact that you have to, like, really explore, which can be seen as a positive as well. And I do see it sort of as a positive. It's just, it would be a positive on a replay, a repeat replay, you know, of the game. The first way, it's nice that the first time through I didn't have to do that and I could still get an ending, but there's that content there if I want to go back to the game. So I guess we can see that as a positive thing. So, but yeah, I like the aesthetic. It's really good looking for a Super Nintendo game. Like, very, very good aesthetic. Very colorful, very vibrant. It's a very good looking Super Nintendo game. The music is awesome. And, you know, the characters and stuff are really cute, as always. I like the gameplay. Everything's good about the game. I definitely recommend it. I would give it an 8.6 out of 10. Yeah, and that's what I have to say about it. So until next time, this has been JZNES saying keep it classic, stick around for more reviews on underrated games, and I'll see you guys in the next one. JZNES.